Macmillan Audio presents The New Mother, written by Nora Murphy, read for you by Dylan Moore and Lee Osorio. Prologue. It wasn't the sort of neighborhood for murder. It was exactly the sort of neighborhood that comprised the majority of Patuxent County. Expensive colonials dotted quiet, tree-lined streets. Cul-de-sacs and looping curves sprouted from slightly busier, but still relatively peaceful roads. It was November, but lawns remained green and free from fallen leaves. It was the sort of neighborhood where yard care services were maintained on contract, and cleaning crews swept into the houses clandestinely and regularly. It was the sort of neighborhood where polite nods and smiles were exchanged when the mail was carried in from boxes, where a sign advertising the existence of a neighborhood watch program was sufficient to make the residents feel comfortable that criminal activity wouldn't come knocking, despite the fact that the neighborhood watch didn't actually exist. It was a neighborhood where doorbell cameras and security systems were superciliously eschewed as unnecessary, where the parents felt safe letting the children ride their bikes in the street, only glancing out the front window occasionally. No need to purchase those signs that read, "Drive like your children live here," to stake in the front yard. But there were no children riding their bikes in the street now. There was no one out at all, as Detective Jill West turned the wheel of her sedan, directing the car down Ashby Drive. She pulled to a stop at the curb. The detective paused before climbing out of her car to look out the window at the particular house in which she was interested. It was tidy and stately, and almost interchangeable with all the others. At least it looked that way, didn't it? But it wasn't really interchangeable. It was different from all the rest because all the evidence she had so far was pointing toward this fact: a murderer lived there. No, it wasn't the sort of neighborhood for murder. Yet that was exactly what had brought her here. Part 1. The Downfall and the Letdown. 1. He had never seen me before, but he knew me inside and out. He'd lived, grown, wriggled inside me for 9 months. Here he was, a stranger. Yet, love was brimming up, threatening to spill over my edges. It was too much. It felt excessive and counterfeit, almost sickening to my stomach. They were still pumping Pitocin through my IV. The plasticky contraption was taped to the back of my hand, shooting oxytocin into my veins. It felt foreign and obvious on my skin, even though it had been there for more than 15 hours. It was the love hormone, was it not? Love and chocolate. They were pumping me with love. Was that the reason for the feeling? Or was it natural and real and the strongest force that there was? Was it all that mattered? The love? Decidedly not. I'd asked the nurse if she could remove the IV. She'd told me I needed to finish the bag of fluids and oxytocin. Ideally, they'd leave it in for 24 hours after the birth, if I could stand it that long. She was sweet, apologetic. Fine, even though I was afraid I wouldn't be able to sleep with it stuck to my hand, tying me to the...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?